Alrighty guys, we're back for some Scavenge Tempo, and this is a March of the Machine, the Aftermath Standard Brew. We're going to go over the deck, then hop right into some Ranked, but first things first, for anyone who may not know, I'm Redcat and I play aggro decks, entity decks with red in them as well, so I hope that sounds fun to ya. Also, we do got that Discord link and that brand new Patreon link down in the description if you're interested in joining either of those up. We'll talk more about that Patreon somewhere else in the video because we got this deck list to go over. But hey, speaking of the Patreon, this is our first ever patron suggested deck list. So thank you so much for the suggestion. It was essentially to try out Urborg Scavengers, which I've been meaning to try out. So nice, perfect first suggestion. 3 mana, 2/2, Spirit. Whenever Urborg Scavengers enters the battlefield or attacks, exile target card from a graveyard. Put a +1/+1 counter on Urborg Scavengers. Okay, nice. Urborg Scavengers has flying as long as a card exiled with it has flying. The same is true for First Strike, Double Strike, Death Touch, Haste, Hexproof, Indestructible, Lifelink, Menace, Reach, Trample, and Vigilance. So a lot. A lot of different things in other words, right? So what do we have packed in here to work with the Scavengers? Well, Malcator's Watcher is a 2-mana 1/1 artifact creature. It's a Phyrexian drone. It has flying and vigilance, and when it dies, draw a card. Not half bad, guys. So if you end up picking up this flying vigilance card from the grave, then Urborg Scavengers gets flying and vigilance, which is a couple good keywords, honestly. Not bad at all, really. We got Rona, Herald of Invasion, to help us plug cards into the grave, right? And whenever you cast a legendary spell, you untap Rona, and you can tap it, draw a card, then discard a card. It also has that transform. I'm not going to look at the transform for now, because we have a lot to go over here. We have a couple Saiba Cryptomancers, which is a 2-mana 0/1 with flash and hexproof. It also has backup for 1, so you can always back it up onto another creature to give another creature hexproof for that turn. Then, of course, whenever you back it up, it also gets a +1/+1 counter. Worst comes to worst, you can just put a +1/+1 counter on Cryptomancer as well. And yeah, Hexproof is on the Scavengers here. So if you pick up the Saiba Cryptomancer from your grave, Scavengers will have Hexproof, which is pretty strong, dude, huh? Got a couple go for the throats for just solid removal. Got 4 Invasion of Amonkhet, because when we're not picking stuff up with the Scavengers, maybe we can pick stuff up with the Lazotep Convert. So, first of all, this is a 3-mana, 4, not loyalty, I almost said loyalty, I always do that. It's 4 defense counters, so it's a battle siege. Whenever Invasion of Amonkhet enters the battlefield, each player mills 3 cards, then each opponent discards a card and you draw a card. So this is more ways to keep our graveyard stacked with creatures and our opponent's graveyard stocked with creatures too, since yeah, Scavengers picks up stuff from the opponents. So then whenever this flips over after you get all those defense counters off of it, which is usually worth it, you get the Lazotep Convert, which is a 4/4 zombie. When it enters the battlefield, or it enters the battlefield as a copy of any creature card in a graveyard, except it's a 4/4 black zombie in addition to its other colors and types. A very powerful battle siege, guys. It does a lot, man. Rocking the Celestis here. Celestis does a lot. It helps us keep stuff in our graveyard too, gains us some life. It also helps us mana fix, since this is technically a 4-color deck. And I struggled with the mana base a little bit, but I honestly don't think it's going to hold us up. So we'll go over the mana base in just a second here, but it could probably use some work if I'm being realistic, right? Got a single Sheoldred the Apocalypse. It's just a very powerful card, man, and it works well with Rona. And we have some draw in here too. We draw off of Rona, for example. We draw off of the Watcher, the Invasion of Amonkhet as well, so, and the Celestis. So yeah, I think it's going to be worth the 1-up for sure. And honestly, it's just not that bad to reanimate as well, even though it is just a 4-mana card. Okay, we got a couple of Boon-Bringer Valkyries. This is a 5-mana 4/4 with backup for 1. And it has flying, first strike, lifelink. Nice, so a great card to pick up with the Scavengers, but then also just using that backup again, dude. Boon-Bringer Valkyrie actually seems like a decent 5-drop. We have a single Repair and Recharge here. So it's a 5-mana sorcery. Return target artifact, enchantment, or planeswalker card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Create a tapped Power Stone token. We actually have a ton of top-end artifacts that we wouldn't mind bringing back with this, and top-end planeswalkers. I think it's going to be worth the one of in here. Got a couple Invasion of Tolvadas. It's a 5-mana Battle Siege, 5 defense counters. When Invasion of Tolvada enters the battlefield, return target non-battle permanent card from your graveyard to the battlefield. So non-battle permanent. That could be huge because we have a couple Kayas in here. Kaya Intangible Slayer is pretty disgusting, dude. Only thing holding it back is the fact that it's 7 mana, which honestly just isn't that bad anymore. It really isn't. How often do you get to 7 mana in a match nowadays? Pretty often. Well, unless you're up against mono red, of course. Well, either way, I'm going to stop rambling about that. Kaya is a 7 mana, 6 loyalty, legendary planeswalker. It has hexproof. Let's go back over here to Urborg Scavengers. Let's see. Has flying as long as a card exiled with it has flying, and the same is true for all those other keywords, including hexproof. So it doesn't have to be a creature or anything. Kaya is a hexproof planeswalker. It totally should work. Obviously, I say should. I did actually get a chance to test out to see if that worked, but yeah. So it has a +2 here. Each opponent loses 3 life and you gain 3 life. Nice. As a 0, you draw 2 cards. Then each opponent may scry 1. Okay. Then it's got a -3 here. Exile target creature or enchantment. If it wasn't an aura, create a token that's a copy of it, except it's a 1/1 white spirit creature with flying in addition to its other types. Yeah, dude, just a really powerful planeswalker. I'll tell you what. And we got a couple Atraxas in here as well. Flying, Vigilance, Death Touch, Lifelink. That seems pretty good to pick up with the Scavengers. And if you're not picking it up with the Scavengers, then obviously it is an absolutely busted reanimation target, right? So, because of course, whenever it enters the battlefield, you reveal the top 10 cards of your library. For each card type, you may put a card of that type from among the revealed cards into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. The card types are Artifact, Battle, Creature, Enchantment, Instant, Land, Planeswalker, and Sorcery. In this deck, I'm pretty sure we don't have any enchantments and sorceries, but we have everything. No, we do have one sorcery. My bad. Do we have any enchantments? I better check then. No, we do not. Yeah, that's right. The sorcery is our 1 repair and recharge, so. Okay, we also have Portal to Phyrexia. This could be a good one to hit off of the repair and recharge, right? And this is also just another way to help us reanimate stuff from our grave and our opponent's grave. So again, like things with Invasion of Amonkhet where we're actually milling the opponent too. I think it's going to be worth the one of. Dude, we got a lot packed in here, huh? Got all 4 Phyrexian Fleshgorgers. Now, we're going to think of this as the prototype cost sometimes, but other times we are actually going to think of this as a 7 mana, 7/5. With Menace and Lifelink, and it has that ward, pay life equal to Phyrexian Fleshgorger's power. So again, with Menace and Lifelink, this is a pretty good one to pick up with Scavengers, huh? And then it also just happens to be a pretty good one to reanimate with their other stuff too. You wouldn't mind the Lazotep Convert coming out as a Fleshgorger. So yeah, not bad. Also, it's an artifact, so it works with the repair and recharge. We got more artifacts here too. Combat Thresher, so 7 mana 7 mana 3/3. But it does have that prototype for 2 and a white, and it'll be a 1/1. Now it has double strike, and when it enters the battlefield, you draw a card. So another way to keep our hand stocked. And like I said, we do have plenty of ways to draw cards in here, which is why the one of Sheoldred is probably worth it too. Whoo, buddy. Yeah, like I said, lots of different things going on here, but I think it'll come together nicely. So we got a single Spara's headquarters, the Raffine's tower, a couple Overgrown Farmland. What's weird about the mana base here is we actually have so much blue and black here at the front of the build, but then the top end has a lot of white, and then we need that splash of green for Atraxa. So I opted for late game white for the most part, right? We needed some early game blue, so I added the wastes here too. Early game blue and black, so the underground river, right? And then we needed some late game white sources, so I opted for Shattered Sanctum. Overgrown Farmland is also the splash of green then, and also late game green here with the Death Cap Glade as well. That's kind of sort of the thought process. And then the split is majority black, then blue, then white. So that's what we got in the generic land up here. With the Abandoned Mire, the Soaring City, and the Seat of the Empire as well. So hopefully it's a good split, and like the type of mana base that won't hold us up too often. And honestly, I don't think it will. I think 25 land is going to be enough too. And then worst comes to worst, Celestis just carries me through most of my mid-range games anyway, so maybe at the final thoughts, I will once again say, oh yeah, maybe 2 Celestis, right? Because I bring that up all the time. Okay, guys, over here in the honorable mentions, almost made it a 5-color deck list. Mishra, Excavation Prodigy, would have been a cool one to think about for the whole discarding, and we do have plenty of artifacts as well, and this was a card mentioned in the suggested deck list as well, so could have been pretty cool, man. And if we splashed red, then we could have thought about Fleetfoot Dancer, which has Trample, Lifelink, Haste, which is pretty cool, and it just happens to be relatively okay and kind of an underplayed card, huh? Thought about to populate. Dude, do we need a board wipe in here? Maybe. I don't know. We'll see, huh? Archpriest of Shadows could have been a cool way to reanimate, but between Invasion of Amonkhet and Invasion of Tolvada and Repair and Recharge and Portal to Phyrexia, or just like not worrying about reanimating at all, instead just like using your Urborg Scavengers, there was a lot packed in here already, so no Archpriest this time around. Cemetery Desecrator works really well with cards like Invasion of Tolvada, but not this time around. Not enough room, man. And I thought about the Coast and the Shores instead of the Painlands because I was running into a lot of aggro, but it's so back and forth that I realistically, I just don't know when to play my Painlands and when not to, because in this deck in particular, there's going to be plenty of moments where you need to see like your 5th land, and then it's a Seachrome Coast, and you're like, well, it's going to come out tapped. I guess I got to wait another turn, and another turn could be super detrimental. So, yeah, opted for the Painlands this time. Woo, buddy, is that everything? I think so. Let's go ahead, take it into some ranked. Let's not get lost in the menus today, and see how it goes. Right into that first game, guys. Did you see that? Very nice. Didn't even really get a chance to load down here what it was saying. Ooh. Ooh. I got chills from how bad this hand was. The double Overgrown Farmland's really bad. No black sources is really bad. We have the potential draw on Watcher if it dies properly. So yeah, no, this is a mulligan. Hey, there we go. All 4 mana colors here. Yep. And I guess we ditch one of the Watchers. We have double black for the Fleshgorger on 3, so... Wow, this is a clean hand, actually, dude. Very nice. Another Watcher, completely fine. Oh, man. It's probably going to get countered, but better Watcher than Fleshgorger when it comes time. Or Amonkhet, for that matter. Maybe we go right into Invasion. Okay, Essence Scatter. That's one counter spell out of the deck. And they pass. Okay. We should honestly keep Abandoned Mire as a utility land here. And not worry about the damage. I guess I'd rather Fleshgorger eat another counter here over Invasion of Amonkhet, right? Because then at least Fleshgorger's in the grave to eventually be picked up by something. Syncopate for 1. Nice. Okay. Right into a control matchup, guys, which we might be... I don't want to say favored, but we might be okay here against control. Okay, well... 3 counter spells 3 turns in a row. Let's see it, opponent. Sheoldred was a good draw. And I don't just want to play Watcher for the turn. Dude, Sheoldred lands on this board. Mindsplace Apparatus is really bad, though. Really, really bad. That probably puts us on a clock, honestly. A couple turns of Apparatus. Okay, March of the Otherworldly Light takes care of Sheoldred. They're tapped out, though, so... Invasion of Tolvada. Okay, do we just play that? Bring back Fleshgorger? Relative. Wait a minute. When did they exile my... Oh, Syncopate Exiles. Oh, I'm so sad about that. Alright, well, at that point... Oh, 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 ooh. Ooh. Auto tapper, hold up. Hold up, buddy. Relax. We need to keep a blue source open here. Gotta be careful when you're playing with Painland, for sure. Yeah, because we want to be able to play the Watcher for the turn, potentially. I mean, they could Spell Pierce this, so I guess we should have played Abandoned Mire to play around a Spell Pierce, huh? It actually could be more than a Spell Pierce. It could be a Make Disappear, because Mind's Place Apparatus. Yeah, I gotta be careful about that, man. Woohoo! Couple of Atraxa landing in the grave, man. I wonder if Invasion of Tolvada can land next turn. We saw the land off the draw, which is good news, so we can play Watcher without taking damage. Experimental Augury. Ah, man. I was really hoping they'd fizzle out. Nothing left, you know? I brought this up in a few of my recent videos. The control matches that I've been going up against, the ones that have been going on for a while, they keep fizzling out of cards in their hand. Like they're using them all up. And it's been happening pretty much every time. So I don't know if I'm just getting lucky and they're fizzling out, or if they're just not playing with enough card draw. Honestly, I don't know. So 2 cards in hand here. I can only imagine Invasion of Tolvada doesn't land on this board, right? So I'm going to start with the swing and get the Amonkhet going. Just 4 more turns and this will flip, right? So that's funny. Fleshgorger might be the safer bet. Just get a card down and maybe we can flip this then. And then we have 2... We have 2 open if it's a Make Disappear, and we get to keep Abandoned Mire as a utility land. And I'm not going to play it yet as a land. Yeah, Apparatus at 4. This is a Silver Scrutiny style deck, man, so they could draw a ton of cards. Like I said, Apparatus hit, and we're kind of sort of on a clock, because once it gets out of hand, like, they can just start playing everything for super cheap. They exiled our graveyard, guys. They exiled our graveyard, man. Oh, farewell. Why, dude? Why? Okay, Invasion of Tolvada can't hit anything, so let's do this. Abandoned Mire on our turn, because we could hit a 2-mana card. Oh, Scavengers. We don't have the mana for it, though. But that's something. That's something. Yeah, as long as they don't have Farewell number 2, I guess Scavengers can do a thing eventually, right? So, Thresher's good. I don't mind playing both of them. Maybe we get the card draw off the Thresher first. There's a possibility that we just want to pick up the Thresher from the grave instead of the Hexproof for the double strike on Scavengers, but it's not like Scavengers has haste or anything. This is pretty cool, man. The nice thing about going up against control is we actually get to, like, play out the deck a little bit, right? Like, the game goes on longer, so... Okay, Syncopate for the Urborg. Okay, well, we get to keep our double strike. I suppose we'll keep Seat of the Empire as utility land just for 1 turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So, I mean, we could still just play it next turn if we see Kaya off the top as well. Man, for a second, it was actually looking relatively okay for us because they were running out of cards in hand and we had just great stuff to do out of the grave, but that exile is so brutal, man. Ah, jeez. Alright, that's a 3/3. Yeah, we'll take that damage. Boon-Bringer. Flip the Invasion. Not a lot to hit with the Invasion. That's the problem, man. That exile was so bad. It was so bad. From your graveyard. I'm gonna play this so we have 2 open in case it's a Make Disappear. I guess they could always get rid of the Samurai. I'm tempted by the Invasion flip, but we should probably just get rid of the Wandering Emperor instead, honestly. Like, if we flip this, it would be a 4/4 zombie with hexproof, but then they could just drop another board wipe anyways. Ah, Sunfall, guys. This is so brutal, man. Oh, man. Well, we have Invasion of Tolvada if we want to bring back Cryptomancer. It's so bad, guys. It's so bad. Dude, if these things weren't getting exiled, I feel like we'd be doing so good right now. Memory to lose. There's some of their card draw, man. Yeah, maybe I am just getting a little lucky sometimes against these control matches. But it's like I said, like they've just been running out of cards, dude. Often. And it was looking like potentially they were going to run out of cards again here. But no, now they're getting some of their card draw. It's also, like I said, this is a Silver Scrutiny style deck. They could just Silver Scrutiny for all the mana because of Apparatus. 35 cards remaining in their build. Let's see. I want to see a couple more cards off the top. All right, let's see if the Scavengers lands, first of all, because if this is a Syncopate Exile... Okay, so we can bring back Scavengers if this doesn't get countered. Okay, so we hit the Scavengers, then we go Exile Cryptomancer. Just double check in their grave here. Give it Hexproof. There we go. Now they need a board wipe to take care of Scavengers. Honestly, Hexproof Scavengers is pretty good. They still have a great block with their 3/3 though. Oh. Board wipe? Another Sunfall, I guess, but then Aya is so good, dude. Oh my goodness. I really wish we had more to hit with the with our cards, but this exiles creature enchantment, so we can't take out the apparatus, unfortunately. Maybe we draw 2 off of Kaya? Maybe. Maybe. Okay. Probably. But we start with the swing first. And I'm going to try for this one over the Amonkhet, because Amonkhet can eventually bring back something great. Let's hit the Farewell, I guess. That's fine. I guess this is the style of deck that could plug cards back into their deck, too. Hullbreaker Horror. Oh my goodness, it has been a second, buddy. How have you been? How have you been, Hullbreaker? You know what? I'm gonna take that Hullbreaker if they let me, right? They could have a lot, like, yeah. They could have a lot to do here with 1 mana. No, Syncopate. Aw, man. Alright, guys. Actually, they have 10 damage on the board. I'm gonna let them play this out, guys. Go ahead. Feel free to go into the next match. Oh, Urborg Scavengers. There's no way anything lands on this board anymore, though, right? Oh, especially since Sunfall could always just, not Sunfall, Hullbreaker. Always have a backup plan. Yeah, no, I feel that. Oh, man. Bounce it back. And drop them the GGs. Which one do they get? Oh, they get the crying one for sure, but I want to wait for them to swing in. I don't want the crying tears to make them not swing in anymore. It's a good time to mention we always have chapters. Always have timestamps in the description and chapters at the bottom of the video, right? Brutal stuff, man. Brutal stuff. I'll tell you what. I feel like we had a chance. I think that could have gone either way, guys. I really do. That first Sunfall was brutal. No. Farewell. I'm sorry. I'm getting my cards mixed up here. The first Farewell was brutal because it exiled our graveyard too, right? So if that first Farewell was a Sunfall instead, I think we actually would have had a good chance. If we could have restocked with Atraxa at some point too, but Mindsplace Apparatus happens to run away with those games sometimes. Even it doesn't do it in and of itself, right? They still have to draw things to play, but it kind of sort of does. You know what I mean? All right. Not a bad hand. We got all the mana again. Double black is good. Yeah, no, this is good. Prepare for the Watcher. Actually don't mind the Watcher. I'd like to see these do a thing. This game too. This might honestly be an underplayed artifact creature. Like, maybe there's some form of artifact. It makes a lot of sense in here because of the Flying Vigilance. Another great suggestion. Well, the exile, man. The exile. Go for the Throat doesn't hit Annex Sentry either, so... Okay. Okay. Annex Sentry, Welcoming Vampire. How cool's the opponent's deck so far, guys? We can hit that Welcoming Vampire. Maybe we should. But I want stuff in the grave for Scavengers next turn, and I kind of want to draw a land this turn too, so... Oh, Cathar. That's good to get out of there, huh? Some more ways for them to exile. We're going to play this land this turn, because there's a chance that we see another land off the top, too. Oh. Oh. Maybe I should have swung. Well, we would have swung first. They probably wouldn't have anticipated a combat trick, so they probably would have blocked. We would have gotten the draw, but then Scavengers could have come down. Yeah, that could have been a play too, guys. We could have swung with the Watchers and let them block, but... Or yeah, let them block it, but... Okay, I'll chump that. Get the Watchers into the grave, right? Talia's making everything else more pricey, so more land off the top, completely fine. Scavengers can come down. Boon-Bringer Valkyrie's available. Scavengers for the turn? The problem with Scavengers for the turn is now we can't keep Go for the Throat open because of Thalia. It's fine. It's fine. Let's let Scavengers do the thing. Pretty cool, man. Because it's a 3/3 that blocks the Welcoming Vampire really nice now. Skrelv, they still have 3 mana open here too. Welcoming Vampire, keeping their hand nice and stocked. Maybe I should have taken it out earlier. Brutal Cathar, man. Dude. Okay. Now we have to be a little bit scared here. Fleshgorger, that's good. Invasion doesn't pick anything up that we want. And Invasion is our grave. From your grave, yeah. If we go for the Throat on Cathar, then they have the draw power on Welcoming Vampire next turn still. And Urborg doesn't hit too much from the grave, but it will be a 3/3 on the ground. We go for the Throat on... We can't go on Annex Sentry. We go on Thalia, then at least our other stuff will be a little cheaper, so if we see land off the top... Apologize, opponent. We just drop the Valkyrie, it could just get picked up by another Brutal Cathar. Their third Brutal Cathar is what it would be, though. You know what? Probably the best bet. Flying First Strike Lifelink. We have to take the gamble that they just don't have the third Brutal Cathar. Are we dead here? No, we're not dead yet because they're not buffing the board state. Okay. Okay, guys. Everything's fine. We're doing fine. Let's see what we see. Because we could... at least we can go for the Throat this Brutal Cathar, right? So, and check it out. We get to draw first. Very nice. Actually, maybe it should just be... We got 1, 2, 3. It's going to be Fleshgorger instead. Should we go... counter on Fleshgorger then too? What's that look like? Do we still have our black source open? Sure do. Okay, guys. We can get there. We can totally get there. Ow. Oh no, Skrelv is... No. They don't have anything. Yeah, no, Skrelv. Yeah, my bad. There's nothing we could have done about it then, huh? Yeah, Skrelv was available for the turn. Crap. Aw, man. Would it have been Combat Thresher Fleshgorger then? Steel Seraph gets them a flyer in the air, and they can go Skrelv ability on the ground for the 4 damage total, but also just like a full swing. Or just swing in the air too, so we don't get any life gain. Good game opponent, dude. We got completely picked apart, man. That was kind of crazy. Although, like, I do feel like we got a little unlucky, but I mean, Thalia is just absolutely incredible, obviously. Putting that tax on is just a little bit too much sometimes. But picking up with the Annex Sentry, then 2 Brutal Cathars, losing all of our essential creatures. Very brutal, man. Very brutal. And the Steel Seraph just looking amazing there too. Dude, I don't know if there would have been a great way through there. We would have needed something great to actually stick on the board. Like that, I think the Boon-Bringer definitely would have been the only hope, right? Yeah, it had to stay on the board. No white source, no green source. We don't need the green source. That's just a splash of green. But the white source is essential eventually. We have removal. Opponent goes first, unfortunately. Urborg Scavengers is hitting nothing. It's a bad hand, right? 31 minutes in. Let's keep it. Let's give it a shot, man. Let's do this. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, dear. Okay. Boon-Bringer Valkyrie. Like I said, we're going to need those white sources eventually, but we do have a lot of white sources packed into the mana base anyways. And if it's a fast game, I guess we get to go into the next one too, so... Invasion of Amonkhet, that's good news, man. Okay, Go for the Throat's open, hopefully hitting something very important from the opponent this turn. Yeah, that's not something important. I guess we save this for like a potential Raiju play from the opponent. Just let the Phoenix chick poke through. I think it's completely fine to save the Go for the Throat back. Invasion of Amonkhet. Let's get something great in the grave and then pick it up with Scavengers next turn. Taking 2 from Kamano, 1 from Phoenix Chick. If they do drop Mountain Raiju, we don't see Raiju too often anymore, but dang, this could be a play with fire this turn too. Fleshgorger, okay. It's probably Fleshgorger for the sake of lifelink. The problem is, Urborg Scavengers, it would be a 3/3 then, so Lightning Strike could easily hit it. So maybe we hit lifelink instead. Oh, Sheoldred's a good draw. Sheoldred's pretty hard for mono red. But so is Hexproof. And then next turn we could swing and give it lifelink too. If we're not careful... I mean, obviously we could die next turn if we're not careful. Let's go Sheoldred. I think it's relatively hard for mono red to take care of Sheoldred, and if they double down on burn on Sheoldred, then that's completely fine. Yeah, we don't see too many things that deal 5 damage, although I highly recommend it if you're playing mono red. Okay, we're going back up to 10 here. That's huge for us, man. Okay. I would like more land, but or a white source for that matter, but we're kind of sort of doing fine. If we swing here, we're probably forcing a block, and they don't necessarily... Yeah, they definitely don't want us to flip this, so they block. Let's see that Lightning Strike. And again, that's a Lightning Strike that won't be hitting our face. Doesn't look like they have it. Urborg Scavengers. Let's go for the Hexproof. Because Fleshgorger... They do have Raiju in here. They do. I didn't even look at their grave. Look, Menace Haste too? Oh man, maybe I should have grabbed one of those and then actually flipped the... Okay, it has Hexproof now though, so that's pretty good. Anyways, we could have flipped the Invasion of Amonkhet, potentially. Well, no. It still would have been just a 3/3, so... 3 damage in the air. Okay. Back up to 9. We got our white source. Invasion of Tolvada does hit the Fleshgorger if we want to go full into Fleshgorger. But Amonkhet, what do we want Amonkhet to hit then? Probably Tyrant of Cure Ridges, right? How do we want to take this out is the question. Swing on the ground, swing with Scavengers, give it Menace Haste. Menace is the keyword there that we really want from it, right? So that way the invasion flips. Okay, this is insane, dude. This is crazy. Take out Stormseeker. Now we have the flyer in the air, right? And we might as well go Invasion of Tolvada, grab that Fleshgorger. Because it's a 7-5. Oh my goodness, guys. Look at our board. Dude, first of all, opponent, freaking awesome deck list, dude. Look at this mono red list, guys. Look at how cool this is. We'd have to, yeah, GG. See, we're gaining 7 back from Fleshgorger. We could still double block the Arsonist. I apologize, guys, all day. It's been one of those days with words. Arsonist would die, we'd still gain 7, and they'd only be able to take out one of these 2 creatures. We're taking 2 for Phoenix Chick. We can still flip the Invasion of Tolvada next turn. We're gaining off of Sheoldred. Urborg Scavengers is a haste hexproof menace that's gonna just continue. Like, look, first strike reach on Hallandale. We were just eating up their deck because they had so many great keywords. 36 minutes in, guys. We gotta try to get one more game in. Let's go. Come on. Let's do this. We've been going extra overtime recently for some of these matches, but it's because we've been playing some really fun decks. And a lot of the time, by the end of the video, I just feel like we're getting a little unlucky sometimes. And, you know, maybe it's the way I'm putting the decks together. You never know. But, so I kind of want to just get more games in, more test matches to see and to continue to have fun. Opponent goes first, unfortunately. This is a much better hand than the last game, right? So, yeah. We saw in the last game how ridiculously out of control the deck can actually get. So, okay. More mono red. That's really bad news. Really, really bad news. Because, yeah, they went first and we have a slow hand. Love the mountains, opponent. It's got a classic feel. This impulse, okay. Nice, that looks relatively slow for what they're trying for. No 2-drop. Better just get stuff down that doesn't deal damage to us. Second Fleshgorger could be good. Fleshgorger is fine, they have to take damage when they go for the lightning strike on it, but the problem is mono red doesn't care too much about that. They just want to get the lifelink off the board. But once it's in the grave, then we can give it to the Urborg Scavengers, and yeah, sounds good. Oh, mechanized warfare. This is gonna end fast if we're not careful. All right. It's like I said, it dies very fast, but it is what it is. At least it's not burn hitting our face. Invasion of Tolvada could eventually bring it back too. We're not too far from that. Mechanized warfare. Do we block on the ground? I think we do. They're not burning the Fleshgorger. We gain 3 and the Swift Spear dies. And we have the other Fleshgorger. The problem there is they don't know we have the other Fleshgorger. They're thinking like, oh yeah, get this lifelink off the board. Which makes a lot of sense. They just don't know we have this one. And now we have the 5th mana for Invasion to bring this out as a 7-5, which could be devastating. Second Warfare. Ah, that's so much damage in the air. That's 6 damage in the air, guys. This is, even with our lifelink, we're not going to be able to keep up pace. The double Warfares is so bad. If they stop the lifelink swing this turn, down to 7. They have 6 in the air here. We're probably dead next turn, huh? Because it's not like the Fleshgorger has haste. Is there anything we can do to give our scavengers flying? No. Unless we see something great. Kaya. So if we go Invasion of Tolvada, bring back a Fleshgorger. If they don't have lethal damage already from their hand, because we're going down to 4, so it needs literally anything. Play with fire and it's over because of the double warfare. All right, here we go. Here we go, guys. Yeah, we needed to be able to swing that turn. Gaining 3 back would have been huge for us. And we know they have Reckless Impulse in here too, so it's going to be so easy for them to find the lethal damage, unfortunately, guys. Oh my! Ow. First of all, ow. Aw, and the festivities. Hey, GG opponent, man. Good news, guys. We're only 40 minutes in. I said that was going to be the last one, but that was a really fast game. Dude, brutal stuff. Brutal stuff. I'll tell you what. I think that could have gone either way. I know. It's always silly of me to say, but like, I really do. I believe that. Pretty fun games. Like, when you go up against mono red and you don't just like, and you have a chance, that's a good game regardless, right? Because mono red's doing the thing, and their thing is to go really fast and just blitz the damage through, and it happens to be really fun when you're playing mono red too, right? So if you come out of the other side and you're like, huh, yeah, you know what? I think we had a chance there, then I you know, it's a good game. Only 2 mana, sketchy. We do have 25 total in here. Look, we go first. Let's do this. Let's give it a shot, man. Start with the land that doesn't cause pain to our face. It's got to be Rona, right? Make sure that we can actually filter a little bit to get the 3rd. Going to the grave would be pretty good. Farmhand, nice. So Rona survives the turn, which is just excellent. We found the 3rd. We probably see if we send Boon-Bringer Valkyrie. I think we send the Kaya. Nice. Watcher's pretty good too, but hexproof, dude. Hexproof is pretty good, and since we have double Kaya... Okay, that's a 3/3 hexproof on turn 3. Not bad, bro. Now we just gotta start stacking it up before the board wipe comes down. If we go Rona, ditch the Boon-Bringer. Oh, they tapped out here. Flying First Strike Lifelink, or just flying Vigilance. Kind of play it out a little safer. And eventually play the Boon-Bringer. I don't know, because we know this is a board wipe style deck. Oh, nice. That doesn't save it from board wipe, though. Yeah, what the heck. Let's do it. Let's go all out, man. Last game. It's pretty fun. That's pretty cool. All right. And is it a depopulate style deck? I do not want to cycle that. If it's a depopulate style deck, at least Watcher draws us a card back, right? So, wait. Oh, yeah, I didn't play my land for the turn. I must have tried playing this at instant speed at the end of the attack step or whatever. Okay, they get a little ramp with the planes for the turn. 4 mana, not a depopulate. Okay. Sorry, guys, I'm just screaming in your ear. I got a little excited there because we're alive for the turn. Invasion of Amonkhet is terrific. Unfortunately, nothing in the grave, so it's gonna be the invasion, right? And we draw, so... Shattered Sanctum's a fine one to keep open. Another Scavengers hits. Now, I wonder what we're drawing here. Oh, check these out. That's one of their board wipes right there, man. Eternal Wanderer. Keeping the Gopher Throat open's completely fine. Still have Rona. Not a lot of great stuff to flip, and I don't think we flipped the Amonkhet yet. It could be cool to like get another Scavengers down, but I'm actually just going to swing with the Rona too. I'm not going to use that ability. And let's just grab something important from their grave. Because, yeah, there's nothing. Let's just hit the Eternal Wanderer. Copy any creature. Elspeth's Smite. Alright, I'll protect it. I'll protect the Rona. The Elspeth's Smite literally might mean they don't have a board wipe in hand. I guess if it is a board, they still go for the block. It's a board wipe. Crap, crap. Okay, if we would have let the Elspeth's Smite land... I mean, I guess a board wipe still takes out one of their restorations. Look at how cool this is! Urborg Scavengers, a 3-mana 5/5 flying first strike hexproof lifelink. But Sunfall exists, so let's see it. Are we free to do whatever we want for the turn? Oh. Okay. I'm gonna drop the Invasion of Amonkhet. It's gotta be some spot removal then, but they can't hit the Urborg Scavengers is the problem. Fleshgorger's in the grave. If we just ping the Architect, we have good damage. We have 7, 8, 9. I still want to keep these Invasion of Amonkhets over here. Let's see what happens. Yeah, unfortunately, Cryptomancer not hitting anything, so... Luckily, a Wandering Emperor doesn't take out Scavengers either, so... My grave. Lifelink? Menace? It's pretty risky because eventually we can bring Fleshgorger back with an Invasion of Amonkhet. Right? Let's not go for it then. Let's just take something out of their grave. They do have Depopulate in there. They do. Yeah, it's risky, guys. We got to keep something in our graveyard for the sake of eventually bringing the invasion back. So close. It wasn't a Wandering Emperor. We play this because that gets us 6, and if we draw our 7th, then we have Kaya. And Kaya could wrap up the game next turn. So if we see land off the top, it could wrap it up. Dude, this deck can actually be insane, but we got a little lucky that they didn't drop the board wipe right away. Well, Kaya? Yes. No, they gained so much life from the White Sun's Twilight. Guys! What is that baloney, man? Oh no! Okay. Invasion of Tolvada can bring back Portal. And that gets rid of a bunch of those. So that's much better than just dropping Kaya, right? Portal. Because now Portal can consistently get us creatures back every turn unless they have something. Yeah, dude, I thought Kaya was gonna do it. Back up to 8. Oh no. For 2, that's a couple poison. The poison could be really bad, dude. How about my grave, huh? Let's do Urborg Scavengers. Nothing with haste is the problem. Nothing with hexproof to give. I guess we'll start with Fleshgorger then. Atraxa. Wow. Okay. We could... I guess we just start plus... Yeah, we start with the +2, right? Because that has hexproof, man. That's pretty hard for mono white mid-range to take care of. If they start swinging at it too, then they're not getting poisoned through to our face. Kaya's a problem. Like a big problem. I don't even know where to begin on how they would take out Kaya without better attackers, you know? So just every turn we go plus. I think. I guess there might be a scenario where... Is this Fleshgorger alive right now? They gotta wipe the board or Fleshgorger gets the damage through. Okay, there it is. Wow, 6 poison counters on it. Or not poison counters, 6 poison creatures on the board. Maybe it's Rona. To filter a little bit. Oh no, they're back up to 11, guys. Crap, this is so bad. They have a great chance here. So if we play Atraxa, it still doesn't do a thing. If we draw, I guess, maybe. Drawing might be the best bet now. They get a scry, but we need more blockers on the board. Now that they're up to 11, guys, I think we just need more. More blockers from their poison onslaught. Alright, now we start with a draw here. 1/1 double strike, completely fine. Land, now we have Atraxa open for next turn. That ended up working out. Lots of creatures coming down. Yeah, we got a ton of life, so they're really banking on this poison. Lay down arms. The exile prevents the draw. Then they get 3 poison through for the turn. If they get 3 poison through, then wipe this board, then we're in some serious trouble, dude. Uh-oh. 4 poison through for the turn. We might die next turn. But they're only at 8, which means if they don't get rid of the big Fleshgorger or... These can't block, guys, yeah. They can't keep blockers back. They need something great here. Second Seat of the Empire. Take 8 poison counters. If we swing... If they have any removal for the Thresher, then we're dead anyways. Okay. We go +2 on Kaya and hope Fleshgorger ends this. The reason we take the 5 poison is because if they had the Seat of the Empire, they could have gotten rid of the... This time we'll grab Urborg. And then pick up Cryptomancer. Give it hexproof. Because see, now if it's Seat for the Thresher... Alright, let's start with the swing, right? Because we're going for it. Wandering Emperor gets them back up to 10. But they have to hit Thresher, which means 7 gets through. And then the +2 on the Kaya. Let's go, guys. How fun was that, huh? And, like, we really couldn't focus on the battles too much. We were really just trying to hit face. There was just, yeah, the White Sun's Twilight. Did they triple down on that? Or, I guess it was 2 White Sun's Twilights, right? Very scary business, man. But, hey, I love it, man. This was really fun. This was really cool. Alright, let's go over the deck list again, guys. Look, we got a pack. We might as well crack it real quick, huh? Let's do this. Oh, okay. Oh, we're getting gems from the Brothers War. Nice. Okay, cool. That's good. All right, Scavenge Tempo. Did it do a thing? I think so. I think so, guys. This could be... We could really lean a little heavier into the tempo side of things with some counter spells, but you're taking away part of the soul of the deck, and you really, really need to see constant creatures in the grave for things like Scavengers and bringing stuff back. I actually really like the divide that we have here. We have a bunch of different things packed in, but a lot of them are 2-ofs, and all of them do their own thing. I do think maybe we need to warrant the second Rona. This really helped us plug stuff into the grave, but since we didn't have the whole legendary theme, I thought, well... It's probably not going to do too much when it's out there, but it actually did a lot, so maybe we could talk about the second one of those. I think we could really see the tempo side of it whenever we dropped, like, the Cryptomancer to save our creatures and just keep a huge pressure on the board. And obviously, it's not leaning into control at all, and so anything outside of tempo that I would call it is obviously mid-range then, right? while it wasn't as aggressive as I initially thought. I actually thought it would be relatively aggressive with like the Fleshgorgers and everything. And even Combat Thresher, you know, it has that double strike, and eventually you could put that on like the Scavengers too. And wow, were we able to keep our hand nice and stocked and keep up pace. The mana base was good. It looks like a mess, but it's always surprising how well it actually ends up working out. And the Painlands didn't end up hurting us too much. The splash of green would have come in handy had we actually needed to play the Atraxa in that last game. We just happened to not need to because we had enough pressure on the board. Go for the Throat is the go-to removal, and it was completely fine. There was that one game where we couldn't take out, the Annex Sentry or whatever, but it's not going to happen too often, guys. The non-artifact creature, it hits so much all the time, and, you know, some of the best targets like Sheoldred, I could see going up the second Sheoldred too, and if you end up doing that, like, Rona does say legendary spell, so, like, Celestis is a legendary spell, Sheoldred and Kaya and Atraxa, all those are legendary, right? So if you end up casting any of those out, then it does untap it. So I could see the second Rona and I could see the second Sheoldred. What would you drop though? I have no idea. Fleshgorger was super essential in like all of those games, huh? The 25 land, super essential in like all of those games, right? Kaya came in handy. I think the double Kaya was perfect. The single portal to Phyrexia was great. Maybe we could drop down to one Atraxa, but I don't think so. I think we'd really like to see this, and when we're not seeing it, maybe it hits the grave, and then like Scavengers picks it up, and then Scavengers gets disgusting, and the hexproof on Scavengers from the Cryptomancer, and the Kaya was insane. Boon-Bringer Valkyrie, maybe we could drop this down to one and squeeze in like the second Rona or the second Sheoldred, and maybe we could drop the Watchers down to 3 for the second Rona or the second Sheoldred. I really liked Watchers. I would have liked to see this do more today. I suppose we could drop it down to 2, right? And then go up second here, drop a Boon-Bringer, maybe go up another Cryptomancer. More hexproof sounds good. In general, though, like this creature isn't half bad. I love the flash. I like that you can keep this open or go for the Throat open. And again, I called it Scavenger Tempo. I honestly, maybe I shouldn't have, because yeah, like in a tempo style deck, we would have liked to keep open the Cryptomancer with like a couple Make Disappears or something instead. But still, I think it kind of sort of did the tempo-y thing, right? Maybe I just, yeah, maybe I didn't name this the right thing. Either way, guys, ton of fun. The victories were grand. I think the victories really showcased the power that the deck actually has. Other than that, you are going to struggle sometimes against these super aggressive decks, and even then, there's a small chance that you just completely pull it back with our Fleshgorgers and our Scavengers and all the other just great things. Sheoldred, right? So, Boon-Bringer Valkyrie, if you can survive long enough against mono red to just drop a Boon-Bringer Valkyrie and just back up onto itself, just a 5/5 flying first strike lifelink is really hard for a mono red player to get around, which again is why if you are playing mono red, I highly recommend the cards that deal 5 damage for 3 mana, right? At least a couple of them. And I guess your choice of removal at that point too. So really enjoyed it, guys. I really did. Oh, guys, that reminds me. Yes, as time goes on, it'll be a little less awkward for me to talk about the Patreon. But again, thank you so much for the suggestion, our first ever Patreon suggestion over on the Discord. It means a lot to me. It really, really does. And if you guys are interested, make sure you check out that link down in the description and support the channel that way. Guys, thank you so much for being here. How'd you make it this far in the video, huh? How do you put up with me? No, I'm just teasing. Okay. But for real, y'all are champions. I super duper appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video.